What's going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast. We in the motherfucking Fight Club breaking down UFC Fight Night, Kansas City, Holloway versus Allen. And before we jump into it, as always, like and subscribe, drop your comment what you thought on the card. And as always, these are your hosts, Paul, Pickle Winham Concha, and I'm joined with.
Man, you already know it's your boy Kev, Water Boy Savoy, aka the Street Fight Enthusiast, aka the realest dude you've ever seen. And I had too much fun, man. And too much fun watching this card. The crowd was electric. Everybody was insane. And like I was telling everybody, Max, the best is blessed.
Stay blessed. I wish I was standing up. You would see my I have Stay Blessed shorts on right now. Kev knows what they were. We got them in Miami. I got my Blessed shorts on. But the Blessed Express came to show, delivered. The crowd delivered. What were they saying? Like by the second and third fight, it was already filled in that motherfucker.
But that bitch was packed the fuck out. Everybody was in that motherfucker during the prelims. And I was like, oh, Kansas City, a lot of love out here. Them boys got respect. And the ticket prices weren't even crazy like that. Like, what did they say? Upper mid was like 140 something.
Yeah, not bad. And shout out Knuckles from Bourbon and Bud MMA podcast. He was there. He got to meet Jeff Molina, Mikel Piera. That's pretty dope to run into your fighters at a UFC event. And he said the whole section was lit. He even said he started a chant. So, I mean, hey, that's a good fight night.
That's the king of Kansas City, man.
What on this card, we had, of course, Blessed Express getting the unanimous decision. Edson Barboza with a vicious flying knee KO.
They say vintage Edson Barboza performance. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should go watch some Edson Barboza highlights. Crazy,
one of the best highlight reels of all MMA, just because this is kickboxing extraordinaire, vicious KOs, and I mean, class of respect, because even after getting the KO, he went over to the trainers of Billy Quarantino, Billy Q over here as we call him, went over there to his trainers and told them the exact thing that they saw in footage in preparation, his tendencies that set up what he did. Like he had been game planning that. So gave him like a little knowledge on the game. He's one of probably arguably the best striker of all time, and you like kickboxing striker so far, accolade wise with the UFC. I mean, other than Pierre who did it in his own the other organizations, but like from 10 year in UFC, Barboza has been a staple at this shit. And so I class act as always.
No, definitely, man. I respect it to the fullest. It was a fun ass card. I love every second of it. But what's in the comments corner, man? What you trying to talk on first?
We got shout out to Zach Cummings and Eddie Herman. Them boys retired.
Double retirement. That was kind of fun.
Both bowed to each other in the middle of the ring, showed sign of respect. Both got their speech, and then so shout out both them boys.
That's Jeremy Depp, but his last name was Cummings, though. I don't know why that was so funny to me at the time.
You child, Kev, you child.
Bro, I'm telling you, that shit had me crying. I was like, Cummings. I hope he wins.
And UFC did the card got off to a rocky start. Jocelyn Edwards, the first fight, everyone thinks it was a robbery. Even Daniel Cormier and the whole booth was just like, homegirl was on her for 3 whole rounds. How did she not win? So it was a rocky start with the judging off rip, but I mean, afterwards it did clean up. I mean, we got a lot of fucking finishes. So anywhere you want to start, because I mean, do you want to start with like Fight of the Nights? Do you want to start with
Let's go finishes, man. Bro, did you fucking see that knee from Brandon Royval? That Edson Barboza's knee was nice. It was nice. But that fucking knee from Brandon Royval just like straight standing up, flying straight to your motherfucking face. That shit was cold.
And I loved how what was it? First round finish, but earlier in that first round he clipped him and dropped him. And a lot of people had Nicolau as he was the favorite going in. A lot of people backed him. I took Royval as a dog, and I mean he clipped him early. Then he gets back up, and then there's lands like you said, picture perfect knee. I saw the fucking pictures online of like the freeze frame, like it land right on the chin, like clean cut KO. Hits a couple more shots to finish him, but he was out by that knee. And I mean, this is the 4 and 5. This is one of the cut man corner picks I had on there, and ranked 4 and 5, and they're on the fucking prelim. That was kind of crazy.
No, that shit was crazy. I'm a newfound Brandon Royval fan. That shit was cold.
And then, I mean, this is where it followed up because that was all action. It was short. We got the KO. Then right afterwards was the Bill Algeo TJ Brown fight, where Bill Algeo gets the submission. But TJ Brown had cracked Bill a couple times in the first round, and Bill kept then Bill got a fucking knockdown of his own in the second round, and then after he knocked him down, he got, I believe, the rear naked choke and choked him out. But it was just like, holy shit. I even said in the group chat right before, like, I heard this was fight of the night potential, because a lot of people are saying these are two action fighters, and like either one of them could have went down at any point in this fight.
That shit is crazy. There's so many good fights on this card.
Yeah,
like the Canadian dudes.
I had the Tanner Boser when he got knocked out by Kutalepa.
Bruh, oh my gosh. I mean, I can see how people would argue that was an early stoppage. I mean, but bro, it just didn't look like it was gonna get no better for Tanner Boser. Like those were a lot of hits to the head.
And people are hyping up how shredded he looked because of like he's usually a heavyweight. He moved down to light heavyweight, so he was looking shredded. And I actually, like, going into it, I thought, because Kutalepa was like 1 and 4 in his last 5. So like for him, I thought it was gonna be another like sad story for him. But nah, Kutalepa welcomed his ass to the division with that KO.
Nah, dead motherfucking ass. That shit was. That shit. It just looked like, I feel like Tanner Boser, he can get better, he can do more, and he can get right. But like that shit was crazy. And then did you hear about I don't want to butcher his name, but Azamat Morzakhanov? Did you see that fight?
Yeah, against Dustin Jacoby. I actually didn't expect him to win the unanimous decision.
Yeah, I actually didn't see that coming either. I feel like Dustin, but I feel like Dustin just didn't put on the gas really late, and then he's going for like takedowns when you need to finish. So like I feel like Dustin actually was a better fight in this one, but Mirzakhanov really stuck to his game plan. But the fact that he broke his fucking arm after the first round, he was really throwing him things at Dustin ass. And he kept the same game plan. There were parts when it started to slow down and it looked like Dustin was going to take advantage. But now he still got that unanimous decision. That was a fun fight to watch.
Fun facts about him is Mirzakhanov is a Sambo champion, world champion, and he beat Kutalepa to win championship way back in the day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like it's a little fun little triangle how some of these people intervene. But also, I mean, Clay Guda, he ain't get the dub, but the shout out to his gangster of his ass to fake a retirement to wish someone a happy birthday.
But Dana White was hot. Dana White was mad when he said that wasn't fucking funny.
No, people, Clay Guda literally went up there before he even shout out. He did say like, and shout out like Dana White. He always treats his fighters great. And then also then Dana White was like pissed off that he got a post fight speech or some shit. It was just like the irony of that. But I mean, Guda could do what the fuck he wants. Former Strikeforce champ.
That's old ass dude. Oh man, so but there were a couple good ass moments on this card. I mean, Pedro Munez,
another dog. Dogs are barking, bro. I cashed in big if anyone was paying attention to the picks.
Pedro Munez is Mexican, right?
Brazilian, but we would welcome him.
Brazilian, yeah, he was cool. He held down that fight. I mean, Chris Gutierrez, I wasn't impressed with him at all, but like I think Pedro Munez did his thing.
Got a knockdown of his own too, and a lot of people thought. I kept saying Chris Gutierrez's boxing is not as crisp as like people were making out the scene. He's more of a wild man. Fucking Pedro Munez is crisp. He's as slow as shit, but he has heavy hands. And then when he clipped him and dropped him, I was like, see, fuck, like don't like the boy, don't be sleeping on Munez now just because you may be a Sean O'Malley stan. But before we get into the main event, as we're about to get into the fucking controversy on the prelims with the Jillian Robertson submission armbar over Piero Rodriguez.
What happened?
Gillian Robertson, it was a good fight. Dylan Robinson was cooking her. She kind of took her down in the first round. Did the same more in the second round. She's working the transitions. Finally got her into a clean armbar, fully extended. Started twisting that bitch, and Pierre hits it with a hard one tap. And usually sometimes that one tap signifies like it's done, especially when something's like locked in. So she did the hard one tap, kind of was going for another one, stopped it, and like her single other finger kind of like touched her elbow, so it looked like a double maybe, and especially in the fast motion. And then of course, Gillian Robinson stops because she won, and then Pierre gets up saying, "Oh, I didn't tap," and then Robinson's like, "Well, the only reason I stopped is because they said I won the fight, basically." So like, and then a lot of people, including myself, believe that like even if she didn't tap, that bitch was about to snap. All right, that arm was on like that arm was as strong as a toothpick between my fingers, bro. Like that shit was at Gillian Robinson's disposal to snap. And Gillian Robinson went to the room afterwards. Iconic photo, her sitting in the little side of the hotel, sparked up a fat ass joint, and called it a day. So hey, Gillian Robinson got herself a fan of me after that win.
No, that's fire as fuck. And if I was, I would have just broken me personally.
Hey, don't leave out. No more question marks.
No more room for. I think I seen a video on MMA Twitter the other day, and it was a girl. She immediately broke somebody's shin in Kimura. They didn't give her a chance to tap. Immediately snapped that shit, and I was like, "Damn."
And then of course our main event, it was a great card. I mean, electric. Everyone was popped out. Great crowd. But the main event, Blessed Express, stay blessed himself. Max Holloway put on a performance. Arnold, and not to take away from Arnold Allen did. Arnold Allen, I mean, he's the truth himself. But Max Holloway's shows were like, there's a 1A, which is Volkanovski, and then there's a 1B, which is Max Holloway. I mean, there's a gap between 1A and 1B, but there 2, 3, 4, and 5 don't matter right now in that at featherweights.
Facts. This fight was so nice. Definitely a great performance by Bless. But I was shocked at the controversy that came along with this fight. I really felt like, yes, sir, shot o'clock. I really feel like Bless did when he did more than enough to win the fight. All the judges agreed 46-49, giving the fifth round to Allen. And it was good. Like Bless kept the pace up, kept doing what he did. He even got a knockdown at the end of the fight that didn't count. Like, it was a good fight, and even Arnold Allen knew
it count here.
A lot of facts. A lot of people was on Ariel Hawani's head because he had
you saw that card?
Yeah, he scored at 48-47. Allen giving Allen the second round and the fourth and the fifth, and I was like, oh, okay. And then but he was also like, oh, I could also have scored it. I could also see it being 48-47 Max, giving Max the fourth. Like, what the fuck? Max won first for sure.
I said into space, I think Max won 4-1. I think the one round I give it to Arnold Allen, it was the fourth round for sure. Or is it the fourth or second? It was either the fourth or second. I for sure gave him that round. I think it's the second.
I gave him the fifth.
I gave him the second. But the fourth round, Max did more work, but Arnold Allen did land like one, like Max ate that shit, but he did land like 1 or 2 shots that landed real clean. And then my argument was, I can see how this could get controversial because some of the refs have been judging not on volume or stats, but just who has the cleanest shots. And that's where I could see how some of these judges may get a little controversial here if this goes to decision. But at the same time, bro, anyone with 2 good eyes, I have 4 of them fuckers, would tell you Max Holloway won that bitch either at worst 3-2.
Yeah, he did. He's done a lot of crazy, great shit in his career. It's fucking phenomenal to see Max just continue able to pour it on. But I gained a lot of respect for Arnold Allen in this fight. I think Arnold Allen showed that he can fight with the best. I think he didn't gas out or anything, but I think his cardio could be a little better. I feel like there are times he could have capitalized, but he was maybe half a step behind. But Arnold Allen showed he's here to be in his top 5, and I don't know if he can beat Volk, but he's going to continue to build in top of it because he's only 28. He has another 2-3 years where he can spend knocking contenders off, staying maybe losing 1 or 2 and learning from it. But he's really in a position to really keep going up. But what the fuck happens to my dog Max next?
Max called out fucking the Korean Zombie, and then I had that meme from the Breaking Bad when Walter White's in the Jeep and he's screaming from the window. He's like, "No, that was me." To Korean Zombie, like, "Don't take that fight." Korean Zombie gets on the mic and he's like, "Oh, I'll be there." Like, set it up. Like, I love that fight, and I'm just like, Korean Zombie's well past his prime. He's one of the favorite fighters. Highlight reel, never scared, always walks forward. Just epitome of someone you would watch, like the UFC. Like man, Max Holloway's gonna probably put up Wilt Chamberlain numbers against Korean Zombie. I'm now breaking his own record of significant strikes in a fight. If it goes all 5 rounds, if there's no doctor stoppage.
The motherfucker has 3 bans of significant strikes. And after fighting the Korean Zombie in one more fight, I think he gets a 4.
He might hit the 4 mark, which is insane. Like, I don't know, bro. That's gonna be a fight where if the Korean Zombie, like how Tony Ferguson took too much damage against Gaethje, and he was just never the same again. Like Max Holloway still, not Max Holloway, but the Korean Zombie still has a sliver of himself left. If he goes into this fight, he's not going to be the same person walking out of it, and that's why I don't want to see it.
I love to see it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'd pay to see that shit.
I would have much rather him fight Calvin Kattar. Like, give me Korean Zombie versus Calvin Kattar.
That's not terrible, but it's gonna be the same thing, just not as bad.
And then who else? Edson Barboza, he's at featherweight also. I mean, with a good win over Billy Q. Shout out 813. I think he's gonna bounce back, Billy Q. But a good win over Billy Q, especially at that highlight manner. Like, he should get a fight above, not a Bryce. I feel like they shouldn't throw him into another takedown guy. Like, give him another good stand-up fighter. Give him a Calvin Kattar. Like, I don't know, give him something that keeps him. We can still see the best out of Barboza. Make it electrifying.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like with Max, it's just not contender or bust, or even will be rooting for a certain person or not. It's just like, if he wants to fight, he has to keep on winning, and that's all his mindset is. And he's looking for good fights that'll sell.
All right, well, shit. Well, that was UFC Kansas City. The fucking card was electric. They definitely earned themselves the right to say, "Hey, another card, bring it to Kansas City." And I think Dana White definitely is gonna find a way to go back. The barbecue's too good.
Nah, facts.
Stay tuned. If you haven't watched it yet, Tank Garcia breakdown this weekend, and also the UFC Curtis Blades versus Pavlovich breakdown this weekend coming up. As always, these are your hosts. I'm Paul, Pickle Winham Concha. That's Kev, street fight enthusiast Savoy. And this has been the breakdown of UFC Kansas City from Totally Blitz Podcast. You bitch.